Hey everyone, Gracie here. We are back again today with a new video, and this is different from some of my more recent videos where I've been talking a lot about Star Wars and Marvel. This time we're talking about Shonen Jump, and more specifically, their lack of female editors at Shonen Jump. So this is an article on Anime News Network. As always, the link for this article will be in the description below. I link to all of the articles I discuss in my videos, and they're talking about a conversation that was sparked on Twitter is, can women become editors at Shonen Jump? And apparently PR for the publisher of Shonen Jump and everything, this is really interesting because they didn't just say, we're looking to fill that position, or we haven't quite yet found an applicant that suits it. It says this is what they say. It's not without precedent, but you have to understand the hearts of boys. Now, I think this is really interesting. So, if you follow me on Twitter at all, or if you've seen some of my other YouTube videos, I really love shonen. Shonen is my favorite genre of anime. Partly that is because I am new to anime, so of course, like many other people, I get into shonen, right? I started reading things like Fairy Tail, which I dropped very quickly, but I read Dragon Ball Z, I've read all of One Piece. I like shonen, and I of course love things like Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone, which is actually airing right now. I love the shonen genre, and I have moved on to other things as well. I like shoujo, I like romance, I'm trying to get into different isekai. But shonen has a special place in my heart. Now, this is also a personal thing for me. I've always really liked boy things. Star Wars was a big part of my life for a long time. I love Pokemon, which isn't really specific to boys, but I do like playing video games, things like that. And Lego Ninjago Master Spinjitzu, that was a huge part of my childhood. I was always interested in that. I was always interested in animals and being outside and observing animals and nature. I was a tomboy back when I was younger, and so naturally I do tend to lean more toward boyish things. That's changed now. I've embraced my femininity, but I still do quite like masculine things in terms of media. And the company does talk about that they have women editors at Jump Plus and Jump Plus, and things like Young Jump have had female editors in the past. So it's the main Shonen Jump, the magazine that publishes One Piece and published Naruto and is currently publishing Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone. Where all the big ones are from, and where all the big manga and anime that people are familiar with over here in the West. That's what it's from. It's from Shonen Jump. They do not have any female editors. Now, it's interesting what they say about understanding the hearts of boys. Now, of course, there have been female shonen mangaka in the past. The biggest example they talk about, and they mention it here in this article later because people were talking about it on Twitter, Hiramu Arakawa, she did Full Metal Alchemist, which to this day is considered one of the greatest anime or manga, at least in the manga and anime community I'm familiar with. A lot of people really, really love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I love Full Metal Alchemist. Hiramu Arakawa, I can't decide if I like her or Chira Oda more. But her art is amazing. Her story, I haven't read Silver Spoon yet, but I love Full Metal Alchemist dearly. The thing is, though, is that Full Metal Alchemist, it wasn't published in Shonen Jump. It's not a Shonen Jump series. So, even though we can acknowledge, yes, she wrote a great shonen story, how shonen is Full Metal Alchemist, though? It is a shonen, but it's a different kind of shonen than something like My Hero Academia, or Naruto, or One Piece. It's very different from those. It's more self-contained. It wasn't designed to go on forever. It's a different kind of shonen. So we can acknowledge that, yes, she did this series. It's technically a shonen, but I would argue it's a different brand of shonen than the kind of stuff Shonen Jump is looking for. And the thing about female editors editing for Shonen Jump is that Shonen Jump, the primary audience is middle school boys. And this is not to say that girls do not read Shonen Jump, or that people older or younger than that even don't read Shonen Jump. Obviously, we know that's not true. We know that a lot of girls really like Shonen Jump. We know a lot of people way older than middle school like Shonen Jump. Things like One Piece and Naruto, One Piece more so, are just universal across both sexes and across all ages. Stuff like Naruto, I would argue, is more for middle school boys, but that's just me. That's just my personal opinion on Naruto. So you have to understand that a lot of these series are marketed towards that. Now, this could be changing with Shonen Jump, because we're seeing Jump starting to take a different approach with the kind of series they're picking up. They have things like Act Age, which is interesting. I haven't read Act Age, but from what I've seen of it, it's focused on a girl who wants to be an actor, and it's all about that. See, this is the most recent cover from Act Age. I think it was just recently on the Shonen Jump front cover. And that is definitely a series I would expect to see more in a shoujo magazine. That reminds me of something like Skip Beat. I love Skip Beat. That's a great shoujo, which is still running actually, but that's the kind of series I would expect to see more in a shoujo magazine, not so much a shonen magazine. So we're starting to see Shonen Jump, what they carry, kind of evolve. And we're starting to also see that they're maybe not looking for longevity so much as they are looking for a good story, something that can be adapted into a successful anime that's popular in Japan and overseas as well. We're seeing this with The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland, the manga is nearing its end, and the anime aired earlier this year, the first season. It was extremely popular. It was huge. I feel kind of bad for it because it kind of got swept under the rug with all the other crazy anime that came out in 2019. But it was huge. So when the anime continues, it's still going to be huge over here as well. It's never going to be the next Naruto or Dragon Ball Z over here, but it's still huge. It made quite the splash, and it really spiked the manga sales as well. It's what we're seeing right now with Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. That anime was so big over here in America, where I live, and in Japan, that people are going out and they're buying the manga volumes. The stores are sold out. Like, they're out of copies to sell people because people are catching up with it. It outsold One Piece in the past month because so many people were going back to buy the old volumes. Now, Demon Slayer does fit into more of the traditional shonen type with our primary male protagonists and things like that. But Act Age is interesting to me because it kind of breaks that mold. Promised Neverland also because the characters aren't really focused so much on having superpowers or anything. It's more about solving a mystery and escaping a bad situation. I'm not going to say anything more about Promised Neverland because if you haven't seen the first episode of the anime, then you can't really talk about it. It's just go watch Promised Neverland. It's amazing. But so with this change into what Shonen Jump is trying to carry. They're trying to carry series that appeal to broader demographics because they're realizing, hey, girls read Shonen Jump and they like One Piece and they like Naruto and all that stuff. But let's see if we can get some series that they will also like as well. Then maybe some of our boys will also read these series. So I think what they're going to start doing is they're going to be carrying series that are not as shoujo-y as shoujo, if that makes sense. They're going to be carrying series that don't necessarily fit in the classic shonen mold or shonen genre, but they're not overly flowery shoujo, I think is what I'm trying to say. They're not overly flowery shoujo, and they're very plot driven and very character driven. So I think that could be good though. So with that change in perspective, this could mean that they will start hiring female editors. They will start getting more of those kind of series into their magazine. And this is what we could start seeing once some of these bigger manga end. When Promised Neverland ends, Haikyuu is nearing its end as well. It's a big sports one. Demon Slayer, how much longer is that going to go on for? Who knows? Could it go on for another year and a half? I don't know. I'm not caught up with that manga. Dr. Stone, how long is that going to go on? How long can Dr. Stone run? One Piece has at least a good 4 years left in it. Like, One Piece is fine. But you have all these other series, and you do need your staple shonen. You do need to have you need to always have your Naruto. You always need to have your series that just appeals to everybody. It goes on for a good amount of time and then it ends. And I would say right now for Shonen Jump, that's My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is their current Naruto. One Piece is in its own league. One Piece could have its own magazine. Just like you go to the store and that's it. You just have the new chapter of One Piece. That's all there is in it, and people will still buy it. But they're filling out the Shonen Jump roster with all these other things, and they're experimenting. That's a good thing. So, but this opens, like I said, it opens the door to a female editor. The thing is, though, this is the thing that gets me. You have to understand the hearts of boys. What this tells me right here is that Shonen Jump knows. They know that girls read their magazine. They are getting some series, and they're pushing these series so that they appeal to girls, but they're also making sure that they're plot-driven enough and understand enough that their boys might also read it. So here, you can look at this. Like, this is good art. This looks interesting. These are pretty girls. A boy might read this series because it's pretty girls, right? But Shonen Jump is always primarily going to be a shonen magazine. So they need to have men there so they can to understand what it's like to be a middle school boy. So they keep getting those Demon Slayers and those Dr. Stones. And even Promised Neverland is very action heavy at times. So it's good. And it talks about, they mentioned here, like, women's fashion magazines need people who understand women's fashion regardless of gender. So for a shonen manga, it's important to understand the hearts of boys. So this isn't necessarily like they're discriminating against females. It's more like we just haven't found anyone who understands what it's like to be a middle school boy and understands what appeals to them. And I think that's one reason why One Piece has gone on for as long as it has and has remained as popular as it has, even gained a popularity. Because new readers who are coming in, it immediately appeals to them. It's about pirates. It's about adventure. It's about freedom. The girls are pretty. The guys are cool. There's cool action. And there's also the fact that this is really a men's workplace. Now, I have a lot of problems with the anime and manga industry as a whole, especially with the over-sexualization of women and things like that. And this is a problem with Shonen Jump series too. And honestly, as a woman, I don't think, as much as I love Shonen Jump, as cool as it would be to be an editor for Shonen Jump, I would not want to work in a Shonen Jump office. That just sounds like a nightmare to work in that editing office. I could never do that. As a woman, I'd be like, no. I would go to a shoujo magazine. That's where I would work. And men work for shoujo magazines too. They're editors for shoujo magazines. But to be an editor for a magazine that's never had a female editor before in 50 years of publication, and a genre that is established to appeal to boys, even if I knew what I was talking about with boys, and I feel like I could because I have 4 brothers. I was a tomboy. I feel like I could understand what boys want in their manga, and I like shonen as well, but I would not want to work in those offices as a woman. That just seems like a nightmare to me. I'm not even talking about men harassing women. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about just the atmosphere. There's just some places where men have to be men and then women have to be women. And unless, I don't know. I don't know what the Shonen Jump offices are like. Maybe it's perfectly fine, but I don't know. I just feel like it would be really hard to get in there as a woman. And I don't think this is discriminatory. I think this is smart. This isn't sexist. This is smart. They understand who their audience is, and they're catering to that audience. Again, this could all change because what Shonen Jump is actually putting out is changing. But you have to understand that they still need that big action series. So when they're looking for a new editor, they're always going to be looking for someone who's going to get that next One Piece, get that next My Hero Academia, get that next Demon Slayer. Something that appeals to both the Japanese audience and the Western audience. So in this case, it's not sexism. It's just the facts. And who knows? Maybe they'll hire somebody, maybe they won't. I think most female editors, though, in the manga industry are not really looking to get into Shonen Jump. They're probably really happy working at a shoujo magazine or some other magazine, because there are prominent shoujo magazines and for other things. Manga isn't just necessarily exclusive to just Shonen Jump. Like, there are plenty of others as well, not just for children and young adults, but for older adults as well. So, you do have to keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to have a few more new videos out this week. I have my exams all spread out, so that's really nice. And let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about Shonen Jump's current roster? What do you think they might be looking to do with that roster? And let me know also if there are any other topics you want me to cover. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Tweet at me at Twitter at GracieVV what you want me to cover. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.